Hello, my name is Werner. I live in the Netherlands and this is my review on Thompson's upper register program, which I recently graduated from. I can recommend this program to anyone that wants to expand his or her range. First, let me tell you something about myself. I'm an amateur player. I'm 38 years old. I started playing the trumpet when I was 6, and for the first 25 years I was one of those players that was convinced that the highest note you could ever play on a trumpet was high C, and that every note higher than high C was played on a piccolo trumpet. But when I started playing in a big band, I saw that the lead player played notes that went up to about G above high C, and my eyes were opened. I wanted to be able to play that high as well, but I couldn't. So I started searching the internet for techniques to develop my high register, and I also took lessons again, because I stopped taking lessons, and I started visiting some master classes. Well, at that time my high C was my highest achievable note, and most of the time, especially on heavy rehearsal or performance, I'd fall off the high C, or I'd miss it at all, or my endurance was gone, and I wasn't able to play anymore. So sometimes I even had problems with G on the staff. So searching the internet for information, I discovered that almost every professional high range expert said that the secret was air. Well, I started focusing on my air support, but I noticed that my embouchure wasn't strong enough to withstand my own breathing power. I couldn't keep it in place, and I always had to stop because my embouchure was tired. I also used too much pressure, which a lot of you might recognize. But then I saw this crazy YouTube video with a guy doing weightlifting exercises with a tuba mouthpiece just to develop his embouchure, and well, I tried it, and I discovered that my lips weren't strong enough. It was Kurt. It was Kurt with his upper register program. And there were a few more videos on his YouTube channel and his website. So I started experimenting with 3 of those techniques, and amazingly, after 2 months of experimenting with a few of these techniques, yeah, suddenly I noticed a big difference in my playing abilities. My range increased, and I was able to play solid C, and I could do it every time. And I could even now and then squeak out an E above high C, so I was really happy. And but I couldn't do it every time, so that was a bit of a disappointment. But then I made my biggest mistake. I thought that I could do it by myself. I thought that if I would practice these 3 techniques and combine them with my own exercises and playing my big band parts, I figured that my range would grow eventually, and I was wrong. So because of a vacancy for a lead player in another big band, I suddenly find myself playing lead in a new band. And I wasn't able to play up to G above high C, and I had to play these parts down an octave. So after 2 years trying to improve it on my own way, I found myself stuck, and I didn't get any higher than E above high C. Then suddenly I remembered this crazy trumpet teacher on the internet that helped me with the first few steps. So I visited this website and just to see if he had any new techniques to help me out. I saw that he had over 50 techniques to help you increase your range, and I asked myself, well, if 3 techniques already help me to increase my range by 4 notes, excuse me, what would these 50 techniques do? Well, on his website he mentioned a free consultation, and I thought, well, why not? So I sent him an email, and a few days later he called me on Skype for the free consultation. And immediately I noticed that he knew what he was talking about, and he mentioned every problem that I was struggling with. And he told me that he would do that if I would do everything he said, that my upper register would increase significantly and become more stable, that my endurance would increase as well, that my flexibility would increase, and well, I immediately had faith in Kurt, and I convinced a friend to join me on this program, and we started 2 weeks later, the both of us. Now, 4 months later, I must say that Kurt was absolutely right. Well, for me, playing double high C was like climbing the Mount Everest. If you stand at the foot of the Mount Everest and you're looking up, it seems impossible to climb, and especially if you don't know what is waiting for you and you don't know how to get there. Well, people died out there, you know, so it's really scary. Well, I think of Kurt as this experienced Sherpa that provides you with the right equipment and who teaches you the right techniques and leads you to the top, telling you which steps to make and especially which not to make. Doing this course with Kurt is, as I believe, the quickest and the safest way to reach double high C. But don't forget, like climbing the Mount Everest, you have to do the hard work all by yourself. It isn't easy, and if you don't listen to Sherpa Kurt, it'll be a dangerous trip, and you might not make it to the top. So one of the things that happened was that we had to leave our friend behind. I'm convinced that anyone can play double high C. You can do it too, if you're willing to do the hard work needed to get to the top. As I told you before, I started this course with a friend of mine, but he quit the program after 2 months, and it's a pity. And now he asks me why he can't play as high as I do, and why he gets tired and I don't. So the only answer I can give him is that he should have stuck with the program and listened to the things Kurt was telling him. It's not that I have a natural talent, absolutely not. I'm still an amateur player, and if it was true that I was really talented, I would have been able to play double high C 20 years ago, and I wouldn't have to do this program with all this hard work. Yeah, I believe that after 4 months in this program I still haven't reached the top of the Mount Everest, but I can already see it, and believe me, the view is really incredible. I'm definitely gonna continue to practice the techniques Kurt taught me, because, well, the sky is the limit, you know. To show you what I mean, and what this upper register program can do for you and what it did for me, I'm gonna demonstrate a short version of one of the techniques Kurt teaches in his upper register program. It's called the Roy Roman palming method. It's just C harmonics played with your trumpet on the straight palm of your left hand. Not grabbing the trumpet and playing with a minimum amount of pressure. So you hold out your hand like this and put your trumpet on top like this. Kurt will teach you exactly how to do it, but here it is. Thank you, Kurt. You changed my life.